Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This one comes from Alex. Greetings and salutations, John and crew. As a longtime Netflix subscriber who has seen a lot of his favorite shows get canceled over the years. So yeah, I just saw that the head of Netflix is saying that Netflix has never canceled a successful show. Excuse me? I can easily name 10 shows right now that I know a lot of people loved that they suddenly canceled. So what is he talking about?
Yeah. So, okay, look, I get it. One could be tempted to look at what Stavros just said. I remember back during, this is neither a left nor a right thing, just everybody, left or right, everybody remembers this. I remember back during the presidential debate between Hillary Rodham Clinton and Donald Trump. And I remember Hillary Rodham Clinton hit him during the live debate on television and said, "You said that climate change was all a hoax created by the Chinese." And to which Donald Trump said famously, "Wrong." Remember that? Only then everybody on the internet went, no, here you go. You said this. And they brought it up and all that kind of stuff. And with this Netflix thing, you know, having Stavros stand there say, "We have never canceled a successful TV show." Meanwhile, a lot of people are going, excuse me? What are you talking about? Well, to put on my best Obi-Wan Kenobi, what he said could be considered true from a certain point of view. Now, this comes to us from the folks over at Yahoo Entertainment who wrote the following. They said this: Netflix boss Ted Sarandos, I always mispronounce his last name.
That's right.
Sarandos? Yeah. Ted Sarandos has insisted that the streaming service has never canceled a successful show. Talking to Bloomberg after Netflix canceled a number of popular shows, including 1899, The Bastard Son, and Devil Himself, Sarandos backed the decision to walk away from these shows. He said, "We have never canceled a successful show. A lot of these shows were very well intended, but talked to a very small audience on a very big budget. Harry and Meghan's series is wait, I lost my spot there. I don't know how that got in there. At any rate, so he's basically saying, yeah, we've never canceled a show. All these shows we canceled just speak to a small audience. Now, again,
for a very large budget.
For very large budgets. And again, for a lot of people who have watched a lot of Netflix shows that have been canceled over years, and there's been a lot of them, going, wait a minute, they canceled this one after 2 seasons. They canceled, and we loved it, and we loved it, and we loved it, and maybe even viewing numbers were there. You got to understand that the definition of success for the streaming platforms is different from the traditional standard of success for broadcast television norms. Because with broadcast television, it was very, very easy. You got big viewing numbers. Big viewing numbers equals sponsorships. Sponsorships equal money. Smaller viewing numbers, fewer sponsors, lower rates on the sponsorships, network makes less money. It was just that simple. It was all about who's watching and how many people are watching. That's why you never hear this term anymore. Robs, when's the last time either of you guys heard the term the sweeps?
Ooh.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember that?
Fall
Bunch of you guys. Yep, the fall sweeps and all that kind of stuff. When's the last time we heard?
30 Rock.
What's that?
30 Rock
30
was the
Rock.
last time.
Yep, but when's the last time we heard anybody bring it up? Because it's different now. Because here's the thing. The success marker for streaming shows is not how many people watch it. I know that sounds weird. That sounds antithetical, but it's not real. I mean, obviously, the more viewers, the better, for sure. But whether one person watched a show or 1 billion people watch a show, it makes the same amount of money for the streamer. Nothing. What matters to streamers is the analytics that they look to for success. The first number being, especially in the terms of Netflix, and we saw Netflix, they laid this out before, is number of first viewerships, which means they track one of their most important metrics at Netflix is what is the first thing somebody watched once they activated their account. That is a huge thing for them. That tells them specifically what people were signing up for, all that kind of stuff. And for some shows, you may have every existing member of Netflix watch something, but if it didn't generate new people signing up or new audiences signing up, or people weren't going to it immediately, to Netflix, that's a big red flag. They're like, okay, that show's not making us money. and maybe we need to look at something else. So I get what he's saying. You can have a terrific show. I still don't think he has the right to come out and say, we've never canceled a successful show. That's debatable, but I think we need to at least see a little bit where he's coming from, because again, with the streaming platforms, their definition of success and the pragmatic applications about what success actually is a little bit different from our traditional understandings. We want to thank a sponsor of this video, MasterClass. MasterClass offers classes on a wide variety of topics, all taught by world-class instructors at the very top of their fields. Each class is broken out into individual video lessons, usually around 10 minutes long. And MasterClass is completely accessible on your phone, the web, smart TV, and available via audio mode to listen to classes on the go. They have over 2,500 video lessons from over 180 of today's most brilliant minds. They're all available anytime, anywhere on iOS, Android, desktop, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Now, obviously around here on the John Campea Show, we love our movies, so why not learn filmmaking from Jodie Foster, or maybe directing from Ron Howard himself, or the great Neil Gaiman doing his masterclass on the art of storytelling. And you guys have heard me talk about my favorite masterclass, Business Strategy and Leadership by Big Papa Iger himself, Bob Iger, the new and returning CEO of Disney. Guys, I highly recommend that you check it out. This holiday, give the perfect gift of an annual Masterclass membership and get one free. Go to masterclass.com/Campea today. That's masterclass.com/Campea. Terms apply. Anyway, Chris, like everybody, you've had shows you've liked canceled on Netflix.
Yeah.
What do you think about this statement when the head of Netflix stands up and says, we've never canceled a successful show?
It's so weird because I understand what their metric is, but at the same time, every show has been canceled, basically, when you really look at it. Most of those Marvel properties, Glow, One Day at a Time, that was really, really popular. I know that Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance didn't have great numbers overall, but it also did get them prestige. It won awards, and it was so good, and I want that back, selfishly. Bloodline. Heck, Chilling Tales of Sabrina, which wasn't particularly highbrow, that had a huge following. That definitely had eyes on it. So it does seem odd to have them say they've never done this. I think, too, that's the CEO also looking back on some of these decisions saying, no, we've done things on track. We've done things great. I'm sure he also thinks they're marketing their properties very, very well as well. You know, it's hard to just believe that statement is true.
Rob, we've talked about the fact that, over the past couple of years, we've talked about the fact that, once a show hits season 3, that's what we've seen. Remember, there was a long time where it's like that was the magic number, that a show would hit 3 seasons and all of a sudden be gone, no matter how popular it was, because Netflix basically had the philosophy of everybody who's going to sign up for Netflix to watch that show after 3 seasons has already done it. And the price tag keeps going up to make these shows because the actors want bigger salaries, understandably so. But still, for him to stand up there and say, we've never canceled a successful show, how do you interpret what he's saying?
Well, I think, look, the thing that I read about last week that I can't stop thinking about is they talked about completion rate on their shows.
Right.
The viewers who tune in, and they said one of their biggest analytics is if 50% of the people who tuned in
To start a show
did not finish it. So that to me, like $18.99, coming from the creators of Dark, big show, a lot of money they put into it. They canceled it after 1 season. Now, one of the things that I think, I think Ted Sarandos was not lying, but I think that there's something he didn't take into account. They want these things to be very front loaded. They're making decisions very quickly about these shows. Dark was something that I didn't hear about. I'd heard about it. I didn't even watch it till it probably was on Netflix for a year and a half. So I would be curious, does Netflix ever allow, what is their window of time? Like, if we don't get the numbers that we want in the first 6 months or the first 3 months, it's gone. Like $18.99 was not on Netflix that long before they decided to not renew it. It was a really interesting, very handsome show that I think over time might have gained an audience, but it didn't in their limited time frame. And I'm thinking, my God, unless you have like a global phenom like Squid Game, well, if you've put a lot of money into a show, I would think that they would spend. I think the problem with Netflix is we don't know Like, we don't know what Netflix wants their eyeballs on. Like, look, Bling Empire New York, come on, I'll watch that. But that didn't cost as much money as Dark or 1899 did. So how long before they make that decision, this completion rate? Because if people, first of all, people don't even know that the shows are there, much less have the word of mouth to hear that they are there, like from their friends. Squid Game took off pretty quickly, but it started out and then it had a big ramp up and it became. But how long? What if it took 6 months?
But it would. That's the problem, though. With the Netflix model, that doesn't happen.
I know,
right? Because they have this drop everything at once philosophy right now.
I know.
Their stats show them, because you pointed this out too, that if something doesn't catch on immediately, it never will. It's frustrating.
It is frustrating. I think that's where they should. I mean, to me, is if you've invested money to make a show, tens of millions of dollars, you need to nurture that show. And I feel that Netflix, I mean, they just throw this stuff out there and just assume that people are going to find it. I mean, I'm joking about Bling Empire New York. It is a show that's on, but I'm not kidding about, you turn on Netflix, and I do look at the number one in America or around the world or whatever, but how do you find stuff? I mean, everything's the same. Everything is, it's now it's just this melange of whatever. I don't even know. And I think they need to change their analytics, but maybe not.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. The head of Netflix is saying they've never canceled a successful show. And, you know, again, Obi-Wan's from a certain point of view, I see what he's saying, but it's probably going to rub some Netflix fans who've had their favorite shows canceled a little bit the wrong way. I know, whatever you guys think about this, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there.